Hello everyone and welcome to the orientation for the summer version of the Introduction to Philosophy course. My name is Roger Foster. That's me right there in that picture. I am a philosopher and I teach in the Department of Social Science at Manhattan Community College. My email there is the easiest way to reach me if you need to reach out, if you want to know anything at any time. Don't hesitate to get in touch. I'll be having office hours on Skype as I'll explain, and I'll explain where to find that information. But what I'm going to do in this introductory lecture is just walk you through some of the important things that you'll need to know for this course, for the organization, for the requirements and how things are going to go, so that you'll be able to hit the ground running when you start the course. And I'm also going to tell you a few things about an online course and how to be prepared and that kind of thing. If you're not familiar with taking an online course, I want to make sure you know what you need to know to do well in this course. All right, so these sort of typical habits really help online students to succeed. And it's really all about being disciplined and having a set schedule to do the work, and sticking to that schedule on a week-by-week basis. So try to set aside a specific time for schoolwork. It doesn't matter what time of day, as long as you're clear that that's going to be your time for schoolwork, and that all other things will be pushed aside to make room for that, and that you'll devote that time to schoolwork. If ever you're confused about an assignment, if ever you need help finding something, reach out to your instructor, reach out to me. I'm here to help, and hopefully I can get you what you need. Build relationships with your peers. I'm going to share the class blogs, and you'll be able to sort of post on each other's blogs. You'll see each other's information. You'll be able to connect, and those relationships are again really important for success, for keeping you on track, and keeping everybody in the class on track. Check your online course daily, and that's especially the case as we're in the summer and it's an intensive schedule. Remember, the summer course is a whole 15 weeks compressed into 6 weeks. So there's going to be daily work that needs to be done, and you're going to have to be checking in daily to find out the tasks that need to be done and to make sure that you're on track. You certainly don't want to find yourself falling behind. Then it gets harder to keep up, and it gets harder to do the work as it appears, as it comes online. So try to stay on track, try to stay up to date. A good thing to do is to plan out your semester beforehand. Make a note of when the exams are, make a note of when the important deadlines are, when you need to do things, so that you can plan around them, and make sure that you're ready for when those deadlines come, and that you're sort of fully prepared and know what to expect. And plan out your semester as well. So planning out your semester is a really sort of good idea to make that happen. Focus on learning, not memorization or memorizing. So it's sort of learning the material. And again, this is a philosophy class, so we're not really interested in memorization. It's about what you learn from the material and how you can demonstrate that learning in the tasks, in the discussion board and blog exercises, and in the exams, and also in the quizzes, which are also about understanding, not really sort of memorizing facts and other things. So learn about the resources. There's a whole load of resources made available by the e-learning center, including e-tutoring, and there's a link to that on Blackboard. So familiarize yourself with those resources. There's more information on the syllabus about things that may be available to you, and if you need anything, if you're getting stuck, or if you don't know what you're supposed to be doing, most important, reach out to classmates, reach out to me, your instructor, and you'll be able to get the help you need. So I just want to show you this part of the syllabus and some of the things that you can find on the syllabus, as well as all the information about me and so on, and the sort of course objectives. And there's also the evaluation and requirements of students, and I'll go into these in more depth very shortly. But just so you know the terms and the requirements here, the discussion board contribution, that's going to be often a twice weekly thing. That will be 15%. Same for the blogs, there'll be 10%. Quizzes, which will also be twice weekly often, those are 15%. And there will be 3 essay type exams, and those will be 20% each. And I'll say more about each of those things and sort of talk about the organization very shortly. So the other thing I wanted to show you on the syllabus is the course outline, and here I've given a sort of a day-by-day sort of schedule of the reading. And so here's where you go to find out what we're reading for the day, and as you see, it's organized by day. In the first week, and most weeks are like this, where there's a Tuesday reading, a Wednesday reading, a Thursday reading, and a Friday reading. So it starts, especially at the beginning, it's going to be very intense, and you're going to find yourself doing a lot of reading to sort of stay on top of things. Things will ease off after a couple of weeks, but certainly the first 2 weeks when we're working through the Republic, be prepared to do a lot of reading, and that's sort of the first thing to do before you do the lectures or any of the other material that I'll talk about very shortly. But here in the course outline, you can see what we're doing on a daily basis, and the readings and sort of how they hang together. Now, apart from the syllabus, the other really important document that you'll need to navigate your way through the course is the course guide, or the course map, as it's sometimes referred to. And here you have a breakdown of topics, readings and presentations, assignments and activities and assessments. And so you'll see all of these are sort of coordinated and outlined. So you'll see there's a couple of things to do before we actually get started. Setting up the discussion board, setting up the blog. When we start week 1, and week 1 starts on Tuesday, May the 26th, you can see that we're going to be dealing that week with the 4 books of Plato's Republic, and that's of course in the syllabus as well. But here I'm giving you due dates for the discussion board. I'm giving you due dates for the first quiz and the second quiz. So when we have each week, we'll have a couple of discussion boards and a couple of quizzes, and you'll find the due dates for each forum will be here on the course guide or the course map. And it's usually for the discussion board and the blog, there's a Wednesday deadline and a Sunday deadline. Sunday is the end of the week, so the weeks in this course typically run from Monday through Sunday, Sunday being the last day of the week. So the second quiz and the second discussion board and blog, if there is one, will usually be due on Sunday. The first one is usually due on Wednesday. So there'll be a sort of a segment or a module Tuesday and Wednesday when you'll have a discussion board and a blog. And then Thursday and Friday, with the material for Thursday and Friday, there'll be another discussion board and a blog that will be due on Sunday. And the same with a quiz for that module. And the quiz for the Tuesday, Wednesday will be due on Wednesday. So that's the typical organization of the course. When we get to exams, of course, that's going to be, it's sort of, it's going to look a little different, but this is the same idea, and everything that you need to know, all of the due dates, all of the tasks and the due dates for those tasks, you can find in the course guide template or the course map, and it's available on Blackboard. Now, apart from the syllabus, the other really All right, so these are the 3 required texts for this course, and each one of them corresponds to one of the modules that we'll be concerned with in the course. We've got 3 modules. The first book we're going to be dealing with is The Republic of Plato by Alan Bloom. Now, be aware that there are many different translations of this book, and you'll find many different editions and translations. It's important that you get the translation by Alan Bloom. For this course, this is the edition that we're going to be using. This is the edition I'm going to be relying on and drawing on in the assignments and the quizzes and so on. So it's really important to get this translation. It doesn't matter whether you have a paper book or an electronic version, but you have to have the text, and you have to be reading through the text, and we're going to be dealing with that from the beginning of the course. The second text is Essays on Civil Disobedience, and this is by Dover Publications. It's a kind of it's like $5 or $6, this text, and it's fairly easy to get hold of, I think, and we'll be working with this when we're dealing with the material on civil disobedience, which is the second module in the course. This book is edited by Bob Blaisdell, the Essays on Civil Disobedience. That's Blaisdell, is the editor of this collection, and it has works by Gandhi, Thoreau, Martin Luther King, and others that we're going to be drawing on in this course. The third book is The Philosophy of Tragedy by Julian Young, and this is going to be our companion when we're working through the philosophy of tragedy, which is going to be the third and last module in the course. So that's what we'll be, that'll be our sort of third theme, and we'll be using this book to work through that. So these are the required texts. Get hold of them as soon as you can, and we'll start working through them as soon as we start the course. All right, another important thing is creating a blog, and this is something that that you have a bit of choice on the matter. This is in course materials. You'll see I've created a folder called Instructions for Creating a Blog, and if you click on that folder, you'll see there's a number of options for how you create a blog. You can use blogger.com. You can create a blog on Tumblr. You can create a blog with WordPress. If you want to use a different format that you're familiar with, that's fine, as long as it's possible for everybody to access that blog and everybody to see it. So as long as that's the case, then it's fine if you want to pick your own format. Just be aware on Tumblr, Tumblr has a password, so if you want to use those blogs, or if you want to read those blogs, you just have to create a Tumblr account, which is very simple, but it then allows you to go on that site and look at the blogs. Everything else is public view, so you'll be able to see the blogs on Blogger and WordPress without creating an account. So pick a platform, have a look how you want to go, and create a blog. And when you've done that, post the URL on the discussion board in the blogs forum. Just post your URL, and then I will add your URL to the list of class blogs that I've put here on Blackboard, and I'm going to start creating that list. When you all have created the blog, I'll add you all to the list. All right, so let's look a bit more closely just to make sure you get the weekly schedule. So because it's a doubled up course, it's a summer course, and there are 6 weeks to do about 14 weeks worth of work. So we're going to have 4 days of tasks, and usually each day, of course, this will change with exams and stuff, but there will be a reading task, and there will also be a video lecture. And the tasks are to be to be done in that order. So the first thing to do is the reading, and the first reading will be Plato's Republic, week 1, book 1. So you'll do the reading, and then you'll look at the video lecture for Plato's Republic, week 1, which I've posted in course materials. And then after you've done those things, you can go on to the tasks and activities. And 2 days a week there will be any sort of mix of these things. So there will be 2 discussion boards per week, there will be 2 blog posts per week, and there will be 2 quizzes per week. Okay, so usually one of those tasks will correlate with one of the reading tasks, might be related to a blog post or a discussion board post. Usually the quiz is based on the first 2 days, which is the Tuesday and Wednesday, and the second quiz will be based on the second 2 days, which is Thursday and Friday. So the quizzes are kind of split up like that. The discussion boards and blogs, the first one is due on Wednesday and the second one on Friday. So the daily sort of schedule is to do the reading, watch the video lecture, do the discussion board or the blog post, and if it's a quiz day, to do the quiz as well. And so that's what a typical sort of activity is going to look like in this class. Now, the 3 essay type exams, they will be 2-hour exams on Blackboard on each of the 3 course modules. So there will be 1 exam on Plato's Republic, 1 exam on civil disobedience, and 1 exam on the philosophy of tragedy. So the idea behind the exams and the idea of calling them essay type is that it's going to give you an opportunity to show what you know, and to demonstrate what you've learned from this module. So it may be a single question, or it may be 3 questions on the exam, but they will be essay type questions. So they're not multiple choice or true false like the quizzes. They'll give you an opportunity to expand on your knowledge and write about what you know and write about what you've learned in the module and what you've learned about Plato or civil disobedience or tragedy. And so they'll be fairly open-ended in that sense, and you'll have sort of 2 hours to write whatever you want to write. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about course organization, and the course materials and assignments are really the 2 most important, aside from the discussion board, where you'll find all the discussion board posts that you can write on. In course materials, you'll see firstly there is the instructions for creating a blog, and then there's some other information on how to read philosophy, some information on note-taking, which is really helpful when you're reading or listening to a lecture. And then there's the weekly material organized into the 6 weeks of this course. So week 1 contains everything that you need for week 1 of the course, including the 4 video lectures you'll find links to, and any other material that's relevant for that particular week. So when you look at the material, you'll find there's the video lectures and everything else there as well, that you might need, and that might be a lot of it sort of extra material in the weekly folders to give you extra information on a particular thing or a particular topic that we've talked about that week. So it's not like you have to read everything in the weekly folders. The most important things in the weekly folders are the video lectures, which are the links to my lectures on that day's material. On assignments, you'll see all of the things that are currently available. You'll see the blogs, the quizzes when they're available will show up there in the discussion board. So those are the folders with all of the daily tasks, or the weekly tasks, and when they're live and current, they'll show up in those folders. The final exam will show up at the end of the course, and the other exams for the other 2 modules on civil disobedience and on the Republic will show up in assignments as well. Bear in mind the final exam is just the 2-hour essay exam on tragedy. It's not a kind of summation of the whole course. It's just the 3rd kind of module exam. All right, so if you click on the weekly folder, if you click on week 1, so this is what pops up, and you'll see there's an introduction to the Republic lecture, which is the first thing you should watch. And there I'm just talking about some of the basic things in Athenian society which are really relevant for understanding Plato, and especially for understanding some of the things he's going to say about democracy. And then you'll see there's the Republic Book 1 video lecture that corresponds to Book 1 of the Republic. So after you've read Book 1 of the Republic, you can watch the Book 1 video lecture. Then you'll read Book 2 and watch the Book 2 video lecture. And there's additional material here as well. You'll see there's the slide on Athenian democracy, the democratic experiment, sort of background reading. So everything apart from the video lectures tends to be background reading. I'll highlight and let you know if there's anything else in the folder that you definitely need to take a look at, but most of it is kind of helpful additional material. Okay, so very exciting. If you're in this class, you get a free ticket to the Weekend Film Festival, Friday to Sunday, June the 19th to the 21st, when you'll be able to watch these two really fantastic tragedies. And this is, of course, building up to our module on tragedy, which will start after the 21st. But on this weekend, so I'll make the links available on Blackboard. We're going to watch Oedipo Alcalde, which is made in Colombia. It's a Colombian version of Oedipus the King. It's translated as Oedipus Mayor, and we'll be watching that as sort of our take on Oedipus the King. It's a kind of interesting retake or sort of remake of that classic Greek story. And the other thing we're going to watch is Macbeth, the 2015 version with Michael Fassbender as Macbeth. And this will be our second tragedy. So these are the two tragedies that we're going to be thinking about and discussing when we're discussing and talking about the third module on tragedy. And on the 19th to the 21st, I'll make the links available, and you'll be able to pick a time. Of course, you'll be able to get your own popcorn and all of that stuff so that you're nice and comfortable and ready. And over the weekend, we'll all be watching these two films, of course, in our own time and at our own pace. But the Weekend Film Festival, we all officially have tickets as we're all officially registered in this course. All right, I'll have office hours throughout the course on Tuesday and Friday from 3 o'clock to 4:30 p.m. on Skype. My Skype ID you'll find on Blackboard. The link that says Roger Foster has all my information on it, and it also has my Skype name and Skype ID, so you can get that on Blackboard. And during that time, I'll be available on Skype. All you've got to do is connect and reach out, whether you want to chat, whether you want to call, whether you want to video chat, it's up to you. But I'll be available, so if there's anything you need, get in touch at that time and we can chat. And finally, good luck. I really look forward to seeing you all and interacting with you online, and getting to know everybody and seeing how this course develops and how you find the material and how you respond to everything. So good luck, and remember, reach out if you need anything, and I hope you find the course a very rewarding experience.